Well, good morning. Welcome to Thoughts Can Change Your Life with me, Reverend Lee. We live in interesting times. And the question I always ask people is, what are you for? What most people tell me is, what are they against? But you see, when you focus on what you're against, you're in a battle. You're in a conflict. You're going against something. There's a real subtle difference there, but a very important one. The question is, what are you for? You see, our only power is to control the perspective through which we see the world. And if we believe we create our experience, then our work is to maintain focus on what we want. In other words, be for something. What are you for? And then take action that you feel is right for you about what you're for. I think it's critical. I think we have been taught to fight against things instead of before something. We've been taught to fight against cancer instead of being for health. We've been taught to fight against drugs instead of mental and physical well-being. We've been taught to fight against everything. We were taught to fight against COVID instead of being for health. And the whole time we're fighting against something, do you notice what's happening? We're feeling more and more isolated, more and more divided, more and more separate, the exact opposite of what we should feel. We're all part of the oneness. We're all connected. And what the human experience right now is doing is it's stopping us from knowing our natural state. And so we're pretty messed up. I got a text today from someone that I went to school with, a good friend. And in this text, I was asked, what do you do about this? I'm scared. I'm scared for my grandchildren. My daughters are scared for their kids. My son-in-law, who is a middle school teacher, just wants to quit. So I'll share with you what I wrote back. I wrote, what is happening in the world will change when the collective consciousness of the world changes. We are so divided, and everything that comes up continues to divide us even more. COVID did more damage through isolation, and as a result, there's more depression and anxiety. Know that your energy affects everything. Focus on what you control. It's okay to take action, but be for something, not against it. Know that your energy affects everyone you meet. When you change, part of the collective consciousness changes. Life is present. So don't miss a moment of it worrying about what you can't control. I don't know how else to say that and not feel paralyzed and not feel stuck. Life goes on. If you don't like what's happening in life, do what you can, take the action you can, and once that action is done, be present, live. I can't believe, Gene, there's no sound because a whole bunch of other people are hearing it. So if you can hear me right now, McBride, give me a comment letting me know that you hear me, please. Just say yes. That's all I'm asking for. I know that in my morning meditation the other day, I had a sound issue. I don't believe I have a sound issue right now. So I'm asking, can you hear me? Yes. So I am being heard. There we go. Oh, yeah, look at everyone's chiming in. It's about time you check in, people. Thank you for letting me know you're out there. Oh, one of the lessons I've learned is that when things like what we're going through right now happens, we sort of become fixated by it and we become paralyzed. And so I had to do something yesterday. I didn't want to do it. So I had to go back inside Lee and say, what would Lee advise Lee to do? And here's what the thing was. I had to sit down and I had to listen to my entire audiobook that I've recorded to see what and where there are changes I need to make because I made a mistake in recording it. I didn't want to do it because that's hours. What I did was I made a list of all the benefits that would come from me doing that. And I made not just a list, I made a big list, 23 things. Once I did that list, I said, oh, there was my motivation, my inspiration. So guess what? I did the whole book yesterday. I share that with you so you get an understanding that if you are stuck and you don't want to do something and it's something you really got to do, make a list of all the benefits that'll come from you doing it. Shift the motivation inside of you, not an outside motivation, an internal inspiration. You birth that by building benefits. So here's a good one. What are the benefits of you worrying? There are none. Worry is one of the most powerful prayers known to humans because there's extreme emotion in it. And when you worry, the universe hears that really loud and clear because of the emotion behind it. Your words are probably very emotional. How you say them is really got a lot of emotion in them. Your cackles are up. You're ready to fight. The universe says, of course, they're ready to fight. Let's give them something to fight about. Be for something. Be for your own personal health. Be for your own personal well-being. Because that's the only thing you can control. Is it possible to be a warrior and a pacifist all at the same time? I'm fighting this world through pacifistic ideology. I feel like my fear emerges simply because it is necessary for this to exist. We're going to be a warrior and a pacifist because we have both qualities in us. But it's not possible to be one and the other at the same time. It's only possible for us to be one thing at a time. It's the same thing as multitasking. No one ever multitasks. You do one thing at a time. You just may be doing one thing, then another thing, then another thing, but you never finish either. So I truly believe multitasking is a waste of energy. Because in reality, the mind can only focus on one thing at a time. Think about it. If I tell you to focus on red, you're not going to see blue. You're going to focus on red. Your fear emerges because we forget who we are. We forget that we're expressions of the infinite. We forget that we're not the body, we're not the mind, we're the soul. And the soul is eternal. If the soul is eternal, then what do you really have to fear? When you lose your body, where do you go? You go from a caterpillar to a butterfly into the next realm, whatever that realm is. That's a big concept to grasp. But fear, all fear comes from one thing, that we have an inner fear of death. If we didn't have a fear of death, all other fear would disappear. That's why in religions they talk about hell, because there's a great fear of death. Well, let's throw a little hell on there. Now we've got real control over people. So again, I'm going to end where I start. What are you for? Look at your life and ask the question in all aspects. Are you for health? Are you for wealth? Are you for a great career? Are you for great relationships? Are you for peace? Are you for a world that works for everyone? Be for something. And then you're moving with the energy of the universe. You're not fighting. You're not trying to paddle upstream. You're going with the flow. And the flow is always for a more expansive life. Create a great day. Know that you are loved. And until tomorrow, aloha.